All right. Hi, I'm Stephanie.
I'm Kevin.
And I'm Maku.
And we're huge gaming. We'll get it one day. It's okay.
One day.
So welcome to our podcast, everyone. I would just like to stress that it's just a bunch of friends hanging out. We're going to talk about gaming news mainly. Kind of talk about how gaming has impacted our life, so to say. Just random stuff. We each are different types of player bases, so to say. I mainly love MMOs. Maku here loves fighting games. Kevin here could definitely be JRPG solo-like games. But yeah, we all like the games as well, and we're just here to kind of talk a bit, just to see what's up. So I guess if either of you guys would like to take the floor, we'll just talk about some exciting gaming news that we're excited for, maybe.
When I was a young lad of 6 years old, it was about 1999 when I had my first game. It was during a road trip. My parents wanted to shut me up, so they gave me a Game Boy with many games, and the first game I played was Zelda Link's Awakening. And I was
That was
never
on
the
Game
same
Boy?
since. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I only thought Pokemon was for Game Boy.
Yes, the Game Boy was invented for solely Pokemon.
Yeah, and Super Mario, but mainly Pokemon.
Mainly Pokemon, but yeah.
Maku, when did you start with gaming? What was your first experience?
Oh, literally right out the womb. My mom apparently
There's a tic-tac wall in the uterus.
I would play against her.
For what I could tell, or from what I've been told, my mom told me that when she was pregnant with me, she was playing a lot of like her Super Nintendo, and when I was like 2 or 3, I you know how you do with a little kid, you give them like a little busted controller or something like that and make them think that they're playing the video game, and
This is going good.
so basically I've been playing games practically all my life. I've started I think like the very first game that I ever played was Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighter.
And that was on what console?
That was on Super Nintendo.
Super Nintendo. Damn. Okay.
Yep. Back in 93.
93. I would like to say.
I was born.
Oh. Oh. Damn.
All right, just so we're talking about it, I was born in 91, but my mother was an avid gamer. I don't think my dad was. My mom had Sony stuff. That's what I remember playing mostly. I remember Spyro. I used to play Spyro a lot. Spyro? What did I say?
Spiral.
Spiral.
Damn.
Spiral the drug.
The drug.
He's just a big corkscrew with wings.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dragonflies.
Yeah, I played that a little bit. Some Super Mario, I believe, on the N64 at one point. I remember we had a Dreamcast, some other games. I don't remember when I actually started. I just know that my mother had it, and she's always been a gamer. I do remember avidly watching her play Resident Evil a lot. That was pretty interesting. I was always scared, never could play it myself. But yeah, I definitely played, been playing for quite some time. I did take a break from it. I know that probably Kevin and Maku here have constantly played. I was told at one point that it was not appropriate for girls to play games, so I kind of never did it a bit. But then when I got into high school, back in like the early 2000s.
I would have been like, it's not appropriate to give me to give your opinion about what I like to play.
Yeah. Well, people are weird on how they raise children.
People are people. That's fine.
On gaming news, though, like I told you guys, I was hyped to talk about. Today I'm getting a game called Rune Factory 5, which is going to be for the Switch. I am I'm still very excited for this game. Kevin introduced me it when he loaned me his Nintendo 3DS, which I was so excited to have. I didn't know what to do. He's like, you should look up this game called Rune Factory and Harvest Moon. And Rune Factory won me over because of the characters. Harvest Moon seemed way too chibi, so to say, but I liked that Rune Factory had actual art to it of like, adult versions, so to say.
So I've never played Rune Factory before. What exactly is Rune Factory?
Kev, you'd probably be able to explain this a little bit better than me.
Well, it's like Stardew, but with like more in-depth combat, I guess. and more like crafting your own gear and whatnot. Like, oh, there's like a sword, there's a big sword, there's dual swords, there's like hammers and axes and whatnot. It's just like a more like JRPG version of Stardew.
Which
okay.
which
So there's
Stardew's.
combat
Mhm.
instead of it just like Stardew being about like farming and whatnot.
I mean, Stardew does have that combat if you go in the mines, but it's not needed. You can go in there. But yeah, it's
Okay.
definitely not something that you need to do in Stardew. But yeah, so it's just something I've really had a lot of fun with playing constantly. So I'm hyped for that.
Okay.
What about you were talking about DNF? Let's hear a little bit about that game again.
DNF, right? So it's a DNF is the fighting game that's coming out is called DNF Arena. In other words, it's abbreviated to Dungeon Fighters Online Arena. So what Dungeon Fighters is a beat 'em up brawler that happened that was up. I can't remember how long ago it came out, but it's essentially a online free to play dungeon crawling beat 'em up game, and every character has their own like skills, and they have their own level up tree, and they have their own like job path. Like one of them will like eventually one fighter will be like, oh, I like doing punches, I'm gonna evolve into a grappler instead, or I'm gonna evolve into a a key blast person or something like that.
Do you start as like a specific class? Like, do you go fighter and then you can go into grappler, or?
No. So what it is that there's set characters that are already established, and their names are what their role is. So there's
Okay.
a person named Striker. There's a person named. There's no like name for them.
Okay.
at all.
Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha.
Their class is their name.
So what
The
they did
class's
with-
name. Okay.
Exactly. So what they did with the arena is that they made it into a fighting game instead of a brawler, and to me that's a lot more appealing because I like brawlers, but I like fighting games a lot more.
And so this would be kind of like Guilty Gear Strive for fighting games.
It's made by the people who made Guilty Gear, Blaze Blue,
Okay, Blaze Blue as well was from the. Okay, I didn't know
Undead
about
Knights,
that.
and both of
Boss.
Yeah,
And-
that's awesome.
and it's coming out. They during Arc Revo that was happening a couple of weeks ago, or I think last week. They announced a release date, and it's coming out on June 28th of this year,
Okay,
which
and,
I'm very excited for.
and the Arc Revo is the convention for fighting games, correct?
Arc Revo is a tournament that's based
Oh, tournament.
on. It's a tournament that's from the creators of Arc System. Well, it's Arc Systems, who the people who made Guilty Gear and Blaze Blue and all those other fighters. They have their own tournament called Arc Revo, and
Okay.
during that tournament, they'll do like announcements for games, and they'll say like, "Oh, there's a new character," which I'm gonna bring up later on, right after Kevin gives his spiel.
Okay. About what, Dungeon Fighters or what?
Anything you want to talk about?
Anything you want to talk about?
Oh, just you talking about Dungeon Fighters? Like I played that. I was looking up the date. Came out in 2005.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
It also
Came
made
out,
me
right.
remember of another game. It might have been the first fighter I played called Little Fighter. I don't know if you've ever played Little Fighter.
Oh,
What's
I
that
haven't.
about?
It was like this free like fighting game you like download, and it just looked like someone's like DeviantArt things. Like this, is my anime character looked like just a bunch of like Dragon Ball Z dudes, kind of.
That's pretty good.
But it just opened up the nostalgia thing in my head. I was like, I fucking play Little Fighter with my friends all the damn time.
Sadly enough, I didn't get into fighting games. Well, I didn't have anybody to play fighting games with that often. The only times I would is when I come over to visit my dad, and we will play Soul Calibur, or we'll play Mortal Kombat.
Oh.
And matter of fact, I actually want to give a little shout out to my dad. He,
Hi, Dad.
hi, Daddy.
Hi, Marcus Daddy.
He actually set the window of fighting games into me, because like if he never introduced me to Soul Blade when I was a kid, and the times that we go to the arcade when I was really little, he would be playing Samurai Showdown while I'll be playing like skee ball or whatever. And
Oh.
I had no idea what it was, what he was playing, but I was fascinated because it was like, wow, this is like two people fighting against each other, and I thought it was really cool, and that sparked my window, and that's when he got me Soul Blade, and that's sparked the whole like my interest in fighting games and whatnot. So
That's good. I think my older brother, when we were gaming, he had Soul Calibur. I was all about it. I loved Soul Calibur. I had no clue about it. I didn't even know the guy with the big sword that has an eye on it. Nightmare. I didn't know that guy's name. I honestly...
Holding the soul edge, if that's the whole point of the game, Steph.
if you want to be pulled right away for
like, I would watch him play that, and I was like, that's so he'd always be like, play me, and I'm like, I'm gonna suck. And of course, I would pick Raphael. I think that's his name. And I would just button mash one button, and that's how I would kill him, and then he would never want to play with me again. So I didn't know how to play fighting games, but it was fun.
That's usually the one. That's how I got into. So when I first played my fighting game, which was Ninja Turtle Tournament Fighter, there's a guy. There's one of the turtles, Donatello. He has a button that's so broken in that game where he spins his, because he's a staff user. He spins the staff, and it has a really long range, and it multi hits, and it can knock people out of the air. It was so busted. I would just spam that constantly, and then it would, people would be like, "Oh, you're just spamming," and I'm like,
press a fucking different button.
If it wasn't in the game for a reason, it was probably meant to be used. Then that's how I think about it. If it's in the game, I'm gonna use it.
Exactly. Thank you.
And I felt like that when I played Def Jam Fight for New York with my sister, and she played Sean Paul, and she just spam, and he's like one of those fast people. I'm like, I can't do anything. And he's just like, I want to.
It's pretty good.
Like, oh, no.
It's pretty good.
Oh, Sean, man. Fight for New York is such a great game.
Yeah, I wish they continued it.
They tried to continue it, but it became Icon.
I don't care about Icon.
Icon.
The Eki engine.
It was so bad, man. It was just... They got rid of the whole... it was the Aki engine they got rid of. It was a terrible game. It was a terrible, terrible game.
So what are some games that we're hyped for that we haven't mentioned yet that are coming out soon? Anyone want to?
It's an update. Your thing is 8 stops away. It has a
Yes. Oh my god! Rune Factory 5 is coming to me today.
Speaking of games you're excited to play, they're coming out. Or it came out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it comes out
last night. As I saw, it's like, it comes out midnight today, and I was like, hey Steph, it was like 1 a.m. before I went to sleep, I'm gonna get Rune Factory, and she's like,
I was so mad. So I'm scrolling through Reddit like I normally do at night. I'm like, oh, okay, let me scroll through Reddit, see what's happening. My Rune Factory Reddit, it's like, it came early. Oh my god, it came early. I'm done. I'm over it. Someone was like, I couldn't wait. I bought the Japanese version, and I've been learning Japanese. I'm gonna buy it again. And I was like,
well, there's like that person who's just like, I just ordered it 2 days ago and I got it a day early.
Yeah. Shout out to you if you ever find this. I was very mad at all of you people for getting it before me. I too wanted it. I honestly told Kevin today, I was like, I think it's gonna come early. You're just not telling me. He's like, I'm not lying. It's not shipped yet. I was like, oh.
I think it's only feasible if you're gonna get a Japanese version of a game that came out. If the gameplay is easy enough where you don't need to read Japanese, or if you don't know how to read Japanese, that's fine. Then get it.
The main part is like
fighting game would be great.
Yeah, romancing part. Yeah.
I don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Hey.
Like a fighting game is perfect because you really don't need to read anything. You just know that, like, okay,
yeah,
then that's it. But when it comes to like an RPG, especially like, imagine getting something like Persona that's only in Japanese and just oof.
I don't know. A lot of people play RPG hentai games and they don't understand it. Like, I just want to see the loot pictures.
Well, I mean, they're just there just for one content and one content only.
That was like, what was the game you were saying? It was either Tekken or something else that they speak in English, but they'll also speak in Japanese. They'll also speak in
their own language.
Yeah, their own language.
In Tekken, for some reason, they all speak their native language, and everybody understands each other. Yeah. Regardless of where you're from.
Yeah, but like, what are you doing here, Akuma? And you're like, yes.
I thought that was funny. I was like, that's interesting. I like that.
It's so weird. Speaking of Tekken, I know this is not supposed to be a fighting game thing, so I'm just gonna.
No, you're fine to talk about it. It's whatever games we like. This is how people know what we are into, which I'm okay with.
Speaking of Tekken, it's not really a game, But Tekken just in Netflix they released that they're gonna be making a Netflix series on Tekken.
Really? So is it going to follow like any of the Tekken games? Like, does it have a story of some type?
Oh yeah, Tekken has a story, and so essentially they're going to be following the story of Jin Kazuya. Not Kazuya.
Is it gonna start first person as a kid and your fucking dad's throwing you off the cliff?
I'm almost certain that's gonna be the case.
No, please don't.
I'm almost certain that's gonna be the case. So from the trailers that I saw, you see Jin and his mom. I forget her name. I always forget her name.
Dead Kazuma.
So
That's a good name.
Jin is going after Heihachi, so Heihachi can teach him how to fight. It's a weird concept, but it's hard to describe.
Is he going to release as him as Jin? Is he going to go through and meet all of the separate characters that are in some of the Tekken games? Is that how it's going to kind of play out? Do you think?
I think that's going to be it because I did see Paul there. I saw all. Yeah.
I don't remember any of these guys. I remember the beef guy with the old man who's got like crazy hair that sticks up.
That's Heihachi.
Fair enough. I remember him.
Shout out to my cousin's ex-boyfriend Paul. I love that playing that dinosaur game on your computer. I have no idea what it was to this day, and I still want to find out.
Is it
a dinosaur game?
I think I know what you're talking about. Is it a hunting game where you?
It was like an open world. No, you played as like a raptor or like a T-Rex, and you just went around doing stuff. And I probably remember it better than it actually was, but I don't remember.
I mean, if anyone understands what he's talking about, throw some suggestions down in the comments. We'll see if it's it.
My cousin still talks to him, but like she's married now, and I want to be like, could you ask your like ex of like a long time ago to like, what was that dinosaur game he had in his computer?
Yeah.
There's Yeah, so for the whole Tekken thing, that's cool that it's coming out. Do we know when it's going to be released for Netflix?
I can look it up right now, but can you cover me while you do that?
Everything's getting a TV thing.
I know Arcane for League of Legends. We love League of Legends as well.
That one was good, but they got the money to back that shit up. They bought the studio. Yeah. I think our major share in the studio that's made it.
There is
that's recently getting a thing. I know Elden Ring, they might have a thing because they explicitly said themselves that they want Elden Ring to evolve past just video games, so maybe they might do like series or something, clothing, who knows.
App sign me up if I could buy cloaks.
I'm sorry.
You're good.
But so for what I can say, there's no release date, but it is coming out this year.
Okay. On dates that aren't actually released, topic of that, they did say that The Witcher 3, or I guess the new Witcher game is coming out for sure. We don't know when, but it's going to be on Unreal Engine 5. Now, I've never played any of the games. I've seen Kevin play a bit, and I've definitely watched the new Witcher series on Netflix. It looks real good. I
never knew this.
Yeah, it just came out the other day. I think someone in the Discord posted that they had officially made it clear it's going to be Witcher, next game, Unreal Engine 5, no release date. And it was from the actual company that will be making it.
CD Projekt Red?
Yes, there we go. Yep. Yeah, they had said that. So I'm hyped to see that. If it's on Unreal Engine 5, like that's got to look good. Because speaking of Unreal Engine 5, as you guys remember, Ashes of Creation, the MMO that we're kind of waiting for, that moved from Unreal Engine 4 to 5, I think, is what it was. Or was it from 3 to 4?
Didn't they say that game was going to have a console release as well?
I believe so. Let me look it up really quickly.
Not Witcher, but Ashes of Creation.
Yeah, again, so I mean, if anyone wants to talk about Ashes of Creation real quickly, let me look up what it's switching to.
I'm not versed on Ashes of Creation.
I haven't looked at any of their updates recently. I just kind of want to be surprised when it comes out and be like, whoa, look at this shit.
Exactly. Like the last time I played anything that was Ashes of Creation was that weird Battle Royale that they released. I don't know what they were thinking.
I couldn't play it. It ran like shit on my computer.
Apparently it ran shit on everybody's computer because it was not a very good optimized thing to have at all.
I think it ran on Steph's computer.
Which one?
Ashes of Creation Battle
Royale? It loaded just fine on my computer. I think Kevin kept crashing. I played like a round or two, and then because Kev couldn't play it, I didn't care to play it. It was good though. It was real pretty. I had to turn down the settings greatly, but it still worked for me. But yeah, Ashes of Creations, it did say that it had gone from Unreal Engine 4 and it's beefing up to Unreal Engine 5. Kevin, I noticed probably last year at some point we did see the difference that it did. It was beautiful. It was real good. Like, what was that? What's that Wukong game? that's kind of like Dark Souls, where they show the monkey going through the snow. Do you remember that game? It was on Unreal Engine 5, wasn't it?
Totally forgot about that.
It looked real good. I don't remember
like
the
Black Sun or something like that, or like Sun Rising.
yeah, something like that. Just a little bit about the game. From what I remember was again you look like
Wukong.
Black Myth Wukong. Yeah, so you're playing as Wukong in an Unreal Engine 5 game. This looked beautiful. The snow looked good. At one point, something that I thought was funny was a boss goes and throws poop at you. That was pretty funny.
Monkeys.
Yeah.
But does it follow Red Dead Redemption? Will we see Wukong's testicles scrunch up with the cold? Or
Oh my god, I still can't believe that's a thing. Just
going.
yeah, whoever picked up on that little note, kudos to you and Red Dead.
There is that's the thing about gaming designing that confuses me. There's a person who is there
in charge
to
of
design.
Yeah. So when the weather goes cold, scrunch them up. Could you imagine?
Like to say, oh, I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying. Like, could you imagine the homework is I have to look at what horses' testicles when it's cold out. You want me to design what? You want me to put that in a...
I did a self-study. Yeah. I stood out naked on my balcony. I took sketches of what my testicles look like.
I had my neighbor Jerry come out. He was happy to oblige, weirdly enough.
We put little white dots on it for the motion capture. Motion capture my nutsack and the crinkles that come with it.
You also have to think that there's a person out there whose his job was destined to, or was not destined, I'm sorry.
Oh, you could be destined. That's a pretty good destiny right there.
Who was supposed to create the dongle of the devil from Dante's Inferno.
Oh yeah, the one that's like...
Oh, that was something there? I didn't know that.
So in Dante's Inferno, there's you have to fight the devil, and he has a big old wiggly. Big long wiggly that's just dragging on the ground. And somebody had to animate that, and I'm pretty sure that guy did not get a promotion or any kind of...
Did it look good? Did it look good?
I was afraid of his references that he had to look up. Just woof.
Fair enough.
I wish Dante's Inferno was a better game.
I'm hyped to play through Devil May Cry 5, right?
You never played it?
I did play it. I beat it in one day, but I beat it the day it came out, and I've never touched it since. And I kind of want
to. My graphics card was just like chugging.
That and his because whenever you were fighting,
yeah, it would like lag, and I was like, I don't want to play a Devil May Cry game with stutters. It's just gonna ruin everything.
It was a good game. I definitely am going back to play that game again. That was fun.
It's a great game. Great game. Great series too.
Kind of to talk to our audience a little bit. Us three, we definitely play MMOs together as much as we can, even though, as you can tell, we definitely have a different genre of games that we enjoy the most of. I am pure fantasy, love anything about fantasy and kind of like farming, dating sims mixed together. You saw Maku is all about fighting. You can hear Kevin is just an all-arounder, loves the RPG, stuff like that.
He's the flex gamer.
The flex gamer.
From Rune to Rune.
Yeah,
any game I want to play.
We definitely play Final Fantasy XIV online, which is an MMO that I love. This is how I met Maku. This is how I met Kevin. We've been lifelong friends since then, going on 5 years knowing each other, 6, 7 for Kevin and I.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, we've known each other for many, many years. We've always hung out. We definitely test games as much as we can. I've witnessed Kevin and Maku fighting each other. Maku's tried to give me tips before with fighting.
It's not for everybody, but
it's
I am
not
interested when I get paid on my next paycheck to get Persona 4.
I'd love to watch play that. Again, it's not my forte, but I love watching it happen. I'm a big fan of watching people fight because I'm one who can enjoy just watching a game. So I do enjoy, because I've seen Maku play games, Kevin, I've seen some of our other friends. We definitely are just big old nerds, like we said. We love gaming. We just love to talk about everything that goes with that. If you ever do catch us on any of the streams, know that he streams, Maku streams, I stream.
Insert plug here.
Yeah, I will put all of our links and everything at the end of the video. Well, I mean, sure, when you guys are watching the video, I'll already have the links up, but I'll post everyone's Twitch on there. towards the end, we're going to kind of save it just towards putting some plugins of some things that we're excited to share with. So we'll definitely have it there. Now, Kevin, I believe before we actually got to start, we were going to be talking about Harry Potter a little bit. What is the game called again?
Hogwarts Legacy, I think, is the name of the game.
That's correct.
And
it's
then
very nice and pretty. It just looks like Dark Souls was injected into Harry Potter, and they're just like,
Hey.
roll.
roll, let's go.
Ridiculous.
I have a little quarrel with the spells that they're going to be choosing for that game.
Do they already know
So-
the spell list, or?
I don't think so, but if you remember watching the movies, there's only mainly like 4 spells that they name,
Oh yeah.
and half the other times it's just them flicking their wand just to get rid of the other person having a wand. You know, just getting it out for their hands. And
I guess,
that's
yeah, they
basically
never-
Harry Potter.
So maybe with this, then maybe they can do a little bit extra, like talking. They're like, you've heard of Expectoral Patronum, but have you heard of Expecto? I'm not gonna do that shit type of thing. Like maybe you do.
Like how Final Fantasy does it with their spells, like Fire and Fire, Viagra.
Viagra, the
Thunder.
Blizzard.
Just-
Oh. But I mean, no, like you were saying a little bit too before, Maku, when we were doing our test runs, you were talking about like maybe they have like a healing class, maybe they have a destruction class. You know,
They have that, yeah.
you would want to see that. Would you want to see other weapons besides just wands, or do you think they should only use wands?
I think wands is fine because there's really no other weaponry in Hogwarts. Like when you're a wizard, you have a wand, and that's that.
What about like the I believe the Death Eaters used different things that they could throw down for smoke screens and stuff like that. I don't know if they had any like poisonous stuff that they could throw, because there are witches which they brewed potions. They had a potions class. Do you think
Yeah.
they could brew other stuff besides a mana regeneration, a health regeneration?
There could be like a class that could be like, oh, I am the herbalist, and then they study herbology, and they use like, I don't know, they throw like a mandrake at somebody, or they make potions, or someone's an alchemist who makes like different kind of potions, because it's kind of hard to say, mainly because they're showed gameplay, but it was mainly combat.
Yeah, nothing about like how the rest of the game works or how we're going to interact with the world anyway, if there's going to be interactions with other people, if we're just going to be that student with the blah 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 with the wand, and then maybe just like, this is your potions class, here's your healing potion, and here's your mana potion.
Yeah, because I would think if you're gonna make like a Hogwarts game, make it like Persona, where you're actually going through school, going through classes, making, doing all this stuff in Hogwarts, because you want that Hogwarts experience. Especially, this is during the from what I remember, they announced that this is going to be taking place in the 1800s, so it's way
Oh,
before,
is it before Harry?
it's way before Harry. He's even way before Dumbledore. So it's going to be in the 1800s, and we're going to have like, people we've never seen before. Maybe we'll find like people.
Maybe we'll see nearly headless Nick with his head on. He'll
Yeah,
be head
maybe.
Nick.
He'll just be Nick at that
Yeah,
point.
just Nick.
But I mean, I think if you're going to make like a Harry Potter game and it's going to be a Hogwarts theme, you want to have that Hogwarts experience. Go through school, trying to get like as much points in your class, in your faction or whatever.
Yeah, young hot Professor McGonagall.
Yeah, exactly.
Moaning
It's-
Myrtle pre bathroom suicide.
You'll actually get the. I would love to see the actual history of Hagrid's parents.
Yeah, because he mentioned about his half brother who is a giant,
Yeah.
and like, okay, well, so
Like,
who were his
mom is
parents?
I think his mom is a giant and his father's a human.
I
think
think so.
That would I would love to see that history. I would like to see like Hagrid's mom, who's a giant, and then I would like to see that.
That would be good for. I mean, if that's what they do, that's what they do. It probably seems pretty exciting. Again, I'm hyped to see this as well.
I'm excited. Yeah.
I'm pretty excited for it too. What are some other
Also,
games?
real quick for the Witcher thing, they showed like they teased like a medallion, and usually it would be like a wolf medallion because Geralt's part of the wolf school.
Clan. Yeah.
It's gonna be Lynx, the next one, so it's probably not gonna be Geralt as the main character. It's gonna be like the Lynx school, which is something the school that was founded after the events of Witcher 3, I think.
Oh, so maybe this is like something that's going to happen after.
Yeah,
then.
because there's the School of the Cat, but then I think the School of the Cat evolved into something like the School of the Lynx. So that'll be cool.
So I've never beaten Witcher 3. I'm still playing through it often. Not often, but whenever I get the chance to. Does Geralt not make it? Is the reason why they're not going to?
No, I think they're just done with his story. I'm not sure if he makes it because I also didn't finish it, but from what I've heard from people, I think he makes it. I'm not too sure.
Right. I mean, if he doesn't make it, that's fine because we have Ciri, who's also in the Wolf School. So I was assuming that if they're going to make another Witcher game, it's going to be off of her.
Maybe she changed the school. Maybe that school specifically died out.
Because
I've
makes her own school.
Maybe she find that'd be pretty good.
I mean, I'd also love to read the books since all of them are translated from Polish now, but do that another time.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. What are some other games? Let's see. Ashes of Creation was one that we talked about, which is another open world MMO that we are all pretty excited to try when it comes out. Are there any other fighting games besides Dungeon Fighter that might be coming out soon?
Well, Arc Revo announced stuff. I just can't find the other announces, but they did announce that a new character in Guilty Gear is coming out, and is Testament.
Ah, yes, you were mentioning about him. So what's his little shtick? What does he do?
So Testament, the history about Testament is that he's been. I'm not gonna lie.
That was summed up real quick.
Testament got me reevaluating my life choices because I saw what they did to him, and I'm like, oof. Oh my god.
His
Viking what? Viking who?
His name is Testament.
Testament.
And he's from what game?
He's from Guilty Gear, and he's
Hey, in the future, everyone will be by.
He was the main bad guy in a couple of them, and we haven't seen him since Guilty Gear X Core Plus, which came out on PS2. So, and there was a bunch of Guilty Gears that came out right after that.
I like his weapon.
Yeah, well, yeah, so he's like a death scythe person. He summons like little pop-up things and stuff. He's very your bait, Steph.
Absolutely.
He's
he looks too girlish for me, but I'll take it. He's a boy.
Type guy. But like, they made him different. I guess it's because he got resurrected into a woman, but he still retained his deep manly voice for some reason.
Maybe he's just someone who can keep soul hopping. It could be the lore or something like that.
Or maybe he got reincarnated into a woman. Yeah. It's kind of vague because he was very feminine in the other game, in XX Core Plus. But now that he's back and he's all feminine, I'm not opposed of it. I mean, that's cool because that's the same thing they did with Seth in Street Fighter V. When they brought him back, they made him like with a female body, but with a deep man voice. Okay.
I mean, if that's what they do, that's cool, though. That's exciting.
All want a female body with a nice, deep, sensual man voice.
I like that. I'm not coarse.
I'd be okay with that. I could do a deeper voice. Hey.
Nothing better than coming up next to a woman in here like, hey, what's up? You want me to make you pancakes after this?
Yeah.
Oh no, Diota.
Oh dear, I am approaching you.
So Testament's coming out, and that's great because we haven't seen Testament in so long. And
what was the last time? Like, what game was he last a part of for Guilty Gear? How many games has it been since he last was out?
It's been like maybe 4 games.
Okay, dang, that's a lot.
But we haven't seen him since PS2 era Guilty Gear, and that's a long time ago. And he wasn't even relevant in that game because the last game that he came out in PS2, it was just like a cameo. He was just there because it was mainly Guilty Gear XX Core Plus Revenant. I think that's what it's called. It's mainly like a collab of like all the fighters that they had, and it's like a celebratory fighting game.
Okay.
So they brought like all the characters in there.
That's good.
And then
Then.
you're
No,
able
that's
to play.
exciting. That's good. So then, do you think you'll play him a bit, or what are you feeling for Testament?
I gotta see more gameplay on him. I'm very fickle of the characters that I play in Guilty Gear because
That's fine.
I thought I would like biking because I'm a big biking fan, but the way that she plays now in Strive is kind of hurts me a bit.
Fair enough.
So,
Fair
and
enough.
I've been playing with Leo Whitefang a lot more, so I'll be sticking with him.
Yeah, I mean,
even
yeah,
though
try
he's-
him out.
Even though he's very predictable online now, so it's like,
That's
oh,
you have fun. The whole point is you definitely need to have fun when you're playing games.
yeah.
Um,
I might try him out. So, who knows?
on that note, we've all been playing Elden Ring since it came out.
Like everyone else.
So much that it has taken up our time. To any of the rating team out there that hears this, I'm very sorry. But it did cause our raid group to disband.
Sorry, not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry. So I've been playing a pure sorcery build. I mainly try to level up intellect, faith, and arcane, along with, of course, giving myself health and mana. Kev, what kind of build have you been going for?
I'm kind of fickle. I've going back to my original plan of going to strength and intellect.
And I made my first character. I made a big boy build, big health, big stamina, big strength. That's
Bring
it.
more.
Just a big
Ball.
threes. Strength,
Yeah.
stamina, health.
Bigger.
Health.
I forgot. I was like, what's S for health?
3 S's, strength, stamina, health.
But yeah, I made a big boy build, and boy, does it punish you at the end if you go that route. Oh my god.
What have you been playing right now?
I'm doing a on my second character, since I'm putting that character on hold. I made a Dex sorcery build, and this is my first time going Dex in any Souls game ever because I usually just stick with strength. And man, is it fun! It is really, 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 really fun to make someone bleed and then their health just explodes. It's
Oh yeah,
so
I
great.
usually go Dex. Dex is fun. But
It's
Bleed
so
has
good.
gotten super strong in this game.
Yeah, and then I don't remember it being so strong like in the other Souls games. It's like and the fact that you mix sorcery along with that, it's man, it's so good.
Did I not?
So good.
Did I mute myself when Ezio came in?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
you're good.
I was like, fuck. That's good though. So I'm hyped for the builds that we have that we're taking in. Kev definitely has mentioned about the blood builds. We've definitely been invaded quite a lot. Kev and I co-op majority of the game. We get invaded a shit ton by so many people. Maku, you haven't had too many invasions, right? Except for ones that you made. Normal
Zero
NPCs.
Just NPCs.
NPC
but
invaded. Okay, yeah.
Zero people.
Yeah, and he's been playing a little bit on his own. He has helped out a few of our friends before, but they haven't been invaded when that happened, right?
No.
Okay, yeah.
Because the only time I go in there, like I only helped them out twice, and one of them was just to give him a weapon that so he can help out with his build, and the other time is to help
Go
him
in there
kill
for the
Radon.
boss.
To help him kill Radon before the nerf people.
Yeah. So Kevin and I didn't know that you could co-op. So Kevin and I ran into a lot of bugs playing co-op together. One of the bugs that we mentioned, or that I've mentioned before, is when you go into the Rhea Academy school and you go fight the goddess there, if she does not have an orange golden hue bubble around her when you enter, she's glitched. You can't fight her. Her singing children will not appear. Her bubble will not dissipate. She will not come down. She will take no damage.
I did not know that. Wow.
Yes, we ran into this bug quite a lot. So we were underneath the impression, oh, dang it, it's a bug. Okay. We would have to reset occasionally 2 to 3 times before her bubble would appear to actually kill her, progress the fight. The next bug we ran into that we didn't even think to check to think it was a bug, we just assumed it was normal, is that we tried to summon each other for the Radon fight. He wasn't given a prompt to touch the transporter, and so we took it as, I can't be in his world, which makes no sense, because we were able to summon right beforehand. So we were like, oh, okay, maybe this is just how the fight works. So Kevin and I actually split. Kevin fought, what's his name? Radagon? Radon?
Radon.
Not Radadon?
Radagon is his dad.
Radagon's his dad, okay. Look, there are a lot of M, R, R, G names, okay?
Same thing in Dark Souls 3. There's a lot of L's.
Yes! But yeah, so we fought him. which is a feat for myself because I took about 40, I want to say probably 40 minutes to kill him. It took a bit. It sucked. I did not stream, or I didn't record my first playthrough, but I'm recording the second playthrough that Kevin and I kind of do. So you can check that out with the other ones. Maku, have you streamed any of Elden Ring?
I have not. I'm probably not going to do that because I've heard there's like a lot of issues with streaming, especially with you.
Yeah.
So I'm probably maybe on my third playthrough because I'm definitely going to go a third time, and I'm going to go incantations that time.
You can do recording like I did. I'm not able to actually stream Elden Ring at the moment. What we are speculating is that my CPU is not up to date for what the game wants, which is bad because it's a pretty good computer still. Like, I swapped out some parts with Kevin's, which was way better than what mine was, so it should still be a pretty good computer, but CPU does not let me do it, which sucks.
Right. I mean, I probably will stream it. I just, I don't know. I haven't really thought about streaming it mainly, but I will. And you can watch it on twitch.tv/Tatsumaku if you want to.
Sponsored by...
I wish. Pepsi. Pepsi, if you hear me, I want one. A sponsor.
I think Pepsi's after, I don't know.
I know
Maybe like
Bud Light, Miller Lite or Bud Light sponsors people on Twitch, so
Really?
probably get that. Yeah, they do.
I'll do
Remember,
what is it?
You know, Ashley. I know Steph does.
Oh yeah, Ashley Roboto?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she does a Miller Lite or Bud Light.
That's so funny.
Sponsorship.
That's
If
pretty
you'd
good.
be sponsored by like a dispensary or something, that'd be good.
I'll be good too. Yeah.
I'm not saying I like Incredibles, but Incredibles, if you're out there, hit me up. Yeah, so I mean, we're all adults here. We definitely talk kind of on a little bit more intense side. We do occasionally talk about lewd games as well, because we are a fan of those.
We are filthy degenerates.
We are. I have not played as many probably as Maku and Kevin have, but I'm up
What'd
there
you
in the
say?
list. Well, I mean, you guys can venture. Kevin definitely ventures out and plays more, and I think you play more than just. I like the basic. I have a puzzle game that goes with dating women. I want to play
that's
it. Yeah, I know that there's others.
I know 100% that I've played less lewd games than you have. So
Oh, never mind then. I have played more than him.
I could probably name 5. I could probably name a couple like lewd games with one hand. While the other
Good. Let's see. We
Go
have.
to freaking Akihabara and like go to those stores to buy a bunch of freaking like Dojin things and like.
I've never been to one.
Oh,
I've never been to one.
it'd be like, hey, go on the second floor. That's where all those games are.
Oh, that's where. Let's see. We also enjoy our fair share of shooters,
Yes.
zombie games, survival type games. A game that all of us have played together before is 7 Days to Die. Right? Mako, you've joined us on that?
Yeah. of course.
Okay, that's what I thought, yeah. Mako's joined us on 7 Days to Die. We've played Call of Duty together. We've played Battlefield together.
Nazi zombie army.
I've played that with you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Nazi Zombie Army. Or
I want to
Army.
play with you guys. I fucking love that game. Nazi Zombie Trilogy.
Yeah, I thought it was fun. I definitely enjoyed it.
Fucking love that
If
game
it-
so much.
If it has zombies, I can play. Like, Battlefield is probably the most that I will play with random shooters. But I'm big fan of the zombie games. Those are fun.
It's such a shame that the community for Battlefield 2042 just went.
I
now.
know, it's
It's barely playable now.
Hopefully the next Battlefield will be better, because I'm hyped to play the next Battlefield. That was fun.
Honestly, don't even bother. Just wait till like the other Battlefield games go on sale. They go on sale for like $5 a piece, and I played Battlefield 1, and I've had way faster connection, way more people playing that than Battlefield 2042, and it's the weirdest because that game came out in 2017.
Okay, yeah, that's kind of weird. I guess, yeah, I'll just probably stick to, if it goes on sale, probably
Like,
grab one if it goes on
It was
sale.
like a rushed release. It was also maybe half-assed. I don't know. There's a bunch of bugs. Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous that we had to have a scoreboard update because people in those games don't want to see their score at all. It's like,
Yeah,
of course
no,
they do.
it
I
was-
think like crazy for fucking technical nuke videos. You'd like
Back
watch
in
Call
my
of Duty
day, the
people
scoreboard could
to-
be looked at during gameplay.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I want to know
Oh,
if I'm going 3 and 9. All the time.
a little bit more about us is we do play D&D together, which is Dungeons and Dragons.
Aye, that we do.
Normally we have Kevin as the DM. We do have some other friends who we play D&D with as well, and we do have other DMs. The rest of us are just kind of player characters for sure. We definitely have fun doing that. So if you ever get hyped for D&D, you can come talk to us about D&D, all that jazz.
One day I'll DM.
One day. It was, I mean, again, after my DM experience, it was okay. It was not something that I want to do
before,
again.
so it's nothing that I can't handle. But
Yeah.
I could DM. But if I want to DM, I'm gonna DM something other than D&D. Like I want to probably try out like
Bikes.
I want to try Pathfinder. I know it's more complicated, and I know it's more like there's a lot more content on there, but it just seems a little bit more like it's different. You know?
Yeah, no, I mean, that's fine. Again, we're still fresh into, Kevin and I are definitely still fresh into D&D, and I know you've been joining us on that, but you've also played other editions of D&D.
Yeah.
Not saying, Kev, that you haven't. I know you've also played other editions, but at least all of us grouped up right now is what I'm saying.
It's okay, you don't remember anything about me. I'm used to it.
Okay. Okay. That's harsh. That's harsh. Real harsh. That's the truth. Okay. Let's see. I do know that we've all dabbled in the Nier game as well. I know that's a fan favorite of others out there too. We've all.
Babylon's Fall is getting a Nier Automata crossover.
What?
Even though no one's like playing it.
What? Who
I
decided
think
that?
they're still trying to. I think they're still trying to friggin' show the game off.
Have you seen how it looks, Steph?
I think Kev's shown me the game before.
Oh, it looks so bad. It looks
Babylon's
so...
Falls, what it's called?
Yeah, it's so ugly looking. It is the ugliest Square game I have ever seen. And by the way, what the hell is going on with Square with releasing like these trash games, like out of nowhere?
I don't know. I mean, Babylon's Fall could have been great. It's like Lost Platinum. It's gonna be one of their other things, but.
I remember looking at this game. I'm like, that looked good. Again, typically something that can turn me off though is if it's not multiplayer. I don't care for it.
It is multiplayer that looked cool in the beginning when they had like, look what the game looks like, and it was an actual gameplay. And they showed it's like, oh man, this looks janky and stilted. It's all heck.
It is,
so
yeah.
Ugly. Oh.
It's an action role playing game.
Made
That's what
by
they're trying to
Platinum,
say.
so
Yeah,
the
made
people
by.
who did Bayonetta, Beautiful Joe.
I mean,
Metal Gear Solid Rising.
Yeah, it's saying that Square
Okami
Enix.
once upon a time.
Yeah, it's saying that Square Enix is also not just help publishing it, but is also help making it too.
Yeah.
Is what
That's
the
why
other.
I remember the whole thing's like people were like, why can we see this Final Fantasy 14 like piece of gear in this game? It's like, yeah, because they're sharing assets from FF14. It's like that's a weird thing to play. It wasn't even a good looking piece of gear. It was just like some random like gray shit. And I was like,
I did not even know that. I didn't know they took assets for FF14.
Yeah.
Yeah, they made Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, The Wonderful 101, Bayonetta 1, 2,
Vengeance
3.
is so good.
Oh god, it was so good. The music is so good too.
It's one of the few games I wanted to like 100% platinum, do all the.
Oh, they made Nier Automata, is what it's
Yeah.
saying.
That's what made Nier good.
But I thought the first Nier was still okay.
The first Nier is a mixed bag. Unless you're really into like drinking.
I liked it, but the gameplay itself was kind of stilted. Storytelling and music's always been great.
Okay,
but
okay,
the
just the
gameplay
game.
is that's why bringing it in platinum helped it a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
But it sucks for Babylon's Fall. I feel like it's like a rushed project. They didn't let Platinum do what they wanted to do.
Oh.
Same thing what I feel about Final Fantasy Strangers of Paradise.
I heard that you cannot stream the final fight. And that might be against the rules and not be good. Like, you are not allowed to show what the final fight looks like right now. Like, as of right now, yeah. I read it in in another, more popular streaming Discord, you cannot stream, what is it called? Strangers? Yeah, Strangers of Paradise.
Aren't we all strangers of
Spoiler
Paradise?
alert! It's the main character.
Oh my god.
Because guess what his name is? His last name. No. His name is Garland. His last name is Garland. Yeah. He's Garland. He even said in the trailer, he says, "My name is John Garland." I'm like, now we know who the bad guy is at the end. Now we know who's gonna put you can literally take that same clip and then make a clip on the side of
Garland
him saying
isn't necessarily bad. Garland is like Sid's last name, isn't it?
in 14.
On 14. Not in the other games? I don't remember.
No. In fact, I think 14 was the only one they had a last name. Sid was always just known as Sid. But
Sydney's great.
But
yeah,
it's not,
Square Enix has effectively forbidden streamers from showcasing any footage of Strangers of Paradise's ending, even after the game is officially released. So streamers,
Japanese companies have had such a weird thing with spoiler culture lately, even though their trailers are usually the most giveaway of stuff.
Exactly. The trailer, I was just saying, the trailer was just saying that my name is Jack Garland, and I was saying, you can literally take that same sound clip, and then at the end of the game, you could just say, "My name is John Garland," and he could put on the fucking Garland helmet on.
It's showing up, "This is my son, Kefka."
Thank you. It is the weirdest thing. It is so apparently the game plays like Neo. It's made by the people who made Neo, so the gameplay plays like Neo. The combat's fast paced and very brutal. It has that same difficulty as Neo as well. So if you want to play a Neo game but Final Fantasy theme, Strange in Paradise is good, and apparently the gameplay is good. Just don't pay attention to the storyline, because the storyline is apparently ass.
oh, well then.
And from what I heard and read about, each level has a number, and those numbers represent the different type of Final Fantasy games there are. So there's 1 through 15. So that means there's a level of Final Fantasy 14 that you could go to in that game. There's
who are they gonna fucking fight in 14?
I think it's Satasha.
You go into Satasha?
You go into
of all
Satasha.
Fucking dungeons, they pick
Of
Satasha?
all dungeons, I know. Of all
Satasha.
dungeons.
Man, I love Copper Bell Mines, guys.
God!
Fucking, oh man. Can't wait to play Amperville.
Yeah! Hard mode.
On hard mode. Armvale,
No.
yeah.
Or yeah, I can't wait for Armvale Extreme to come out.
Oh god, no.
They should have been Cape Westwind.
It should have
Cape
been Cape
Westwood would've
Westwood,
been
yeah.
cool.
For Danya.
But,
It should have been the
they
easiest
have,
fight.
a level, for the Zone 7, there's the Mako reactor. It's literally
Okay.
just, and you fight the Scorpion bot there, so
Oh,
basically
okay.
Iconic fights, I guess, of each series. Yeah,
Yeah,
why
basically.
Satasha? No idea.
That's
I don't know why.
of all. I would honestly have taken. I don't know.
What color? The blue, red, or green coral?
Oh, where's the note at the beginning that tells me what the captain likes?
wait for the clam to open up its shell to make her to attack it.
Keep your ears open, honey. You were the next stop for your.
Oh my god! It was so good. Again, Rune Factory 4. I dumped so many hours into it. I refused to go to the bathroom for a good while, and I regretted it.
Same with Stardew.
Same with Stardew. I played it as just a shtick. I was just playing it. I was like, hey, let me get Ezio kind of here next to me. I kind of popped him up in his little chair because he was little at the time. And he's like, play the chicken game. I was like, let's play the chicken game. Because Stardew Valley has a chicken icon on the desktop.
Well, didn't Rune Factory came out on the DS?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't take it with you when you were on the toilet?
No, I should have. I never thought about that.
Yeah.
Because I was so into it. And then when I finally took a break, I was like, I need to put this down. And
Do
I
you
need to go to
realize
the
how much-
bathroom.
You realize how much game time I had? with my Game Boy Advance on the
That was-
toilet.
that was probably
I
a
cleared
lot,
3
yeah.
games while taking a crap.
Perfect. See, I did
I
not.
never was about that. I never brought stuff into the bathroom. Even now, like I'll listen, like I'll have my phone on the counter with like a podcast or something, or maybe look at Reddit. But no, I can't bring my Switch in there.
I don't think I've ever brought my
You don't
Switch
know
in
how to
there.
wipe it.
Yeah.
You don't know how to void the
I have a
thing.
bidet.
I have a
Even
bidet
better.
too.
Even better.
I wish the bidet had like a foot pedal instead of a knob.
Oh my god, yes! Oh, Lacey to the extreme. I would absolutely
You just hear
foot pedal
revving-
that.
You just hear revving in the fucking.
Oh, that's so good. That's all you hear. Yeah, no, when we were playing Stardew Valley, I was showing it to Ezio just to kind of have fun. Like, I honestly...
It's been delivered, honey. It's on my turn.
Okay, wait,
Hey.
hold the phone. Hold on.
Yeah. But other than that, Stranger in Paradise looks pretty. I mean, just avoid the game, the storyline because I heard the storyline.
Like the gameplay.
No, the gameplay is great. The gameplay is fantastic. But this is what I don't get. Like, a lot of Japanese companies want to try to appeal to the Western thing, so they want to go like
DMC Devil May Cry, edgy.
exactly. They want to go that edge lord
Westernify
kind of
it.
shit. Yeah, exactly.
The fucking Dante, fucking 2 strippers and doing drugs for some reason.
It's so fucking
Even though the
weird.
first game is just him eating pizza.
Yeah, all he did was he sat there and just ate a slice of pizza, and that was it. That was it.
Everyone was just like, yeah, Dante would be that guy if he was depressed to just eat ice cream for the day.
Hey,
You
there
got
it
your
is.
special Earthmate edition.
Yeah.
I was thinking, damn, it wouldn't show the other one, huh? This is maybe the guy I'm gonna go for. This boy right here. Right here, maybe.
Yeah, you go for that lolly.
I'ma be her because these are the protagonists. And then here's a girl. No thanks. Kevin might go for her. She looks
No
all.
thanks, girl.
No thanks. She's young. Okay, no thank you.
But I mean, like in Rune Factory, it's not a game where you make your own character and you go after people, or you play as a character.
It's pre-made, but you can name yourself differently.
Okay.
But yeah, there is yeah. So you play as that, but it helps with the story. So you can be who you are technically. Like in Rune Factory 4, it was like, you're the princess. I'm the princess. Of course, if you played the boy, it was called the prince. But like they're like, oh, you were the princess that we were expecting. You're like, am I? Because we get knocked out of a ship after we were going to we were going to the location anyways, but you get knocked out of a ship due to thugs who were really bad about threatening you.
When I'm annoyed by people due to thugs.
So the thugs were one of the higher up thugs is like, you grunt, take them and threaten them. Like this, they drop kick us off the ship. That's not what's supposed to happen. The guy even was like, you were supposed to hold them over. No one said to kick them. And they're like, oh,
Sorry, boss.
sorry, boss. I have one job. I know.
I think like a lot of RPGs that starts off with you being a prisoner is like the best thing ever.
I did enjoy that in Dark Souls. I liked Dark Souls 3.
Almost every Elder Scroll.
Yeah, every Elder Scroll like
Oh, look at my
you start out as a
book.
prisoner.
Yeah, so
it
you're
comes
gonna.
with that little thingy.
All right, I'll talk about this. A little book. It's going to be The Art of Rune Factory 5 is what this book shows. This is not supposed to be a Rune Factory own thing. You're going to be, let's see, we'll show, where's, come on, Ludmilla's supposed to be in here. I want to show her
That's
off.
my wife.
Yeah, that's Kevin's wife. Where be she? Eris. Oh, yeah, so you can pick the name that it starts with, too. Like, Alice will be the starting name, but I will name myself again. Let's see. Nope. Oh, I'm kind of up between these two. I'm so glad they're on the same page. One's the blacksmith and one's the bodyguard.
Bodyguard for him.
I want him to slam my anvil.
And Martin.
And Morton. Lucy, Ludmilla. So this is the one that these are the ones that he was going to go for.
Oh, they're on the same page as
Yeah,
mine.
so
Yeah, okay.
Ludmilla or Beatrice were either the ones that Kev was going to probably try to go for.
You know, the adult-looking ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll show you what the kid ones look like, which I'm not a fan of. So here's one of the kid boys that I can marry.
Ah, our friend Chuvi's.
Cecil. Yeah, but I couldn't go for that Miracomo guy.
Damn right.
You should see his sister that's not dateable.
Oh.
Oh, I'm sorry. You should.
Yeah.
There's a younger one. This is not his sister, but this is the
I
younger
would've gone
one.
for her, but she's too young looking. I want that.
And then here's the other youngin,
No,
Lucy.
thank you. No,
She's
thank
the
you.
parent, or is it the older sister?
It's the older sister of him. Yeah, again, they've got some other ones too that are typically older, but they do at least a pair of youngins that should not be in there. Gideon, Seymour, Julian. Oh, here's his sister.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Goddamn.
Why can't she be a marriage candidate? I don't know, but she's not.
It's always the best one that
It
aren't available.
the one that people wanted Rune Factory for was one of the younger, lowly looking girls. Her mother, we wanted that, but she was married technically, so you couldn't do that. But yeah, so you get an art book. I get a nice case here that I don't know what has it in. What's in it? How do I open it? I don't want to break it. I don't want to break it.
We were talking about this last night about physical copies and whatnot, right? You see that feeling that you get about like, you know, seeing all this like cool shit and like how open. Yep, you see that? You see that? That the reaction? Yeah.
I can't get the book out. It's the official Seed Ranger's Handbook, abridged version.
That's what I like about physical copies, because like, you get your hands on it, you look at it, it's all pretty, it's nice, it sits there in the little shelf over there, nice in the corner. Be like, yeah.
Yeah, this one actually does have a little guide in it. This one actually in the.
Yeah, because that's a special edition for like normal games. There's just
yeah, it
like,
has
here's
little
here's the
things.
thing with the game in it. Maybe like a brochure of like, hey, you get Xbox Game Pass free for like a month if you put this code in or something.
Yeah, but even then, it's still like, cause I literally have like a box that has like all my PS4 game, or some of them, some of the other ones are in my storage unit, but like. I have like a box of a bunch of PS4 games, and every time I look at them, I'm like, yeah, like I'm gonna go through like how I used to as a kid, just like scroll through my like list of like cartridges and shit to see what I want to play.
I mean, I do enjoy, again, hard copies like how we were talking about it, but I also enjoy the digital version because it can just instantly get to me. But this is something that I would wait for. Like, this is exciting. You also get a CD with multiple of the soundtracks in here. I believe it's called an OST. Yeah, original soundtrack, I believe. Yeah. So I am pretty hyped for that.
That's cool.
Let me kind of wrap this up because we've hit our limit. Also because I'm hyped to play this game.
Say the true reason.
Say the true reason. I am hyped to play my game. I'd like to cut this podcast short. So again, I would like to give this an opportunity for anyone who would like to throw out some plugins. I will absolutely try to link them at the end as well.
Java, HTML, 5. I'm just being an asshole. Java.
Yeah.
Their plug-in programs. Don't worry about it.
Maku, go ahead. I know you had some that you wanted to mention.
So first off, I want to plug in. There's a new podcast that came out, I think 2 weeks ago, called Triple KO. It is. It has Maximilian Dude, it has Mac Muscles, and Justin Wong, all three talking about fighting games and shooting the shit. And it's a good listen. There's already 2 episodes on it.
How long are they?
A couple hours.
Usually when I listen to podcasts now, it's whenever I'm AFKing or cooking or something.
Yeah, essentially that. But I just want to plug that group. Also want to plug my Twitch. My Twitch is twitch.tv/Tatsumaku. I haven't streamed in a while, but I will get around to it. So,
we all will. We're gonna slowly get back in there because I also have not been there. But again, I'll post all of our Twitches. I'll post that link to Triple KO as well at the end. Kev, do you have anything that you would like to mention? Maybe for people to get hyped about of something that you also listen to, or?
I know people venture out, play D&D with each other. That's a fun thing to pass by all this bullshit that's happening.
D&D's helped us. Yeah, we definitely enjoyed that.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you guys for listening. Thanks for hanging out with us for this little over an hour escapade. I plan to try to do these once a week, so please look forward to next week with a new episode. Maybe we'll have some special guests arriving in between each episode. Who knows? But thank you guys. Bye.
Oh.
Good, that's on there.